This is a new mounting system for your GoPro camera from MT, or Modern Technology. It's an all aluminum, professional, modular GoPro mounting system. It's currently being crowdfunded. It's available over on Dark Horse Pros. It's got a couple days left in the campaign, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. It's down in the video description. We'll dive right in and take a look at what sets this mount apart from the others. First, it's all made out of aluminum, and then there's these little base pieces you attach to your GoPro camera. This is what allows their mounts to be modular, meaning you can move your camera easily between different mounts. Not that you couldn't do this using a standard GoPro mounting solution, but what you do is you bring the mount down and you slide it into the top of one of their mounts, and then it's got a little thumb screw here that you do up, and that supposedly locks the camera in place. My problem is that it doesn't really lock the camera in place. Regardless of how tight you get this thumb screw by hand, you're still going to be able to turn the mount. You really do have to go get the Allen key, which is provided, and actually tighten it down. And that does stop the movement. Very, very secure once you tighten it down using that Allen key. Now, if you wanted to change this to something else or a different camera, you would have to undo this little thumb screw with an Allen key because you wanted it tight enough to not move. Pull out the camera, and then you could get something else mounted to that same base solution, say a camera mounted to that using a 1/4 by 20 inch mount. Put that in, rotate it to the angle you wanted, and then tighten it down, same as before. The base that's attached to the camera does provide you with some really cool features. One of them is by loosening the thumb screw a little bit, you're actually able to rotate the camera to any angle you want. This makes getting cool framing much, much easier. So you can rotate it to wherever you want it and then lock it down. The second product I've got here from them is a little GoPro pole. So it's got a short little extension bar on here, about 6 inches, and then a hand grip. Now, this again has that modular head attachment, so you could easily slot on your camera on the top here, or you could pull apart this modular system and attach it onto your base piece. This does take a little bit more time and a little bit more effort because you do need to get out an Allen key. There's no thumb screws on these ones, but the hand little ropey thing here unscrews, and at the end of it there's a handy Allen key that you can use to loosen these, as long as you didn't get them too tight. If you crank them down with an Allen key to stop movement, the little one stored in the back of the handle isn't enough to loosen them. So you do have to keep that full-size Allen key around in order to be able to adjust the angles of your mount. Now we've got our GoPro camera mounted to our universal base piece and then mounted on to the rotating base with these different points we could change and rotate and loosen and kind of get the perfect framing of the shot. And then if we wanted to remove our camera, we just undo this one bolt here, pop off that standard base piece, and move it on to whatever else we wanted to shoot with. This was a tricky mount for me to review, and I flipped back and forth between loving and hating it a couple of times while reviewing it. Setup times for it are slow. Initial setup is really slow, especially if you're just trying to get that first time you're setting up, or you've got to switch an extension bar from one mount to another. It is a time-consuming endeavor. It's not something that you just pull off an adhesive mount, throw the GoPro on, throw 2 extension bars on it, and you're good to go shooting. It's not that. It's much, much more time-consuming, but it does provide you with a fair amount of flexibility in setting up that shot. And once you get out your Allen key and you lock all those shots down, that mount is going to stay in that position into the future. So what I've really come to realize is that this is a mount for a professional who shoots the same shot repeatedly. If you want to put one of these on your surfboard or on your skydiving helmet and have it set so it always shoots the angle, and you know that that is the perfect angle, and you have it modular so you can just undo this one bolt, take out your GoPro camera, go home, download the footage, and then just put it back on, it's a perfect mount for that. Creating repeatable shots and keeping that all stable and not breaking and not wearing out. It's all aluminum. It's a tough build. It's not going to wear out. It's not going to break, but it does not have the fast setup time and the flexible setup of lots of GoPro mounts, which are easier to adjust using thumb screws and you have more flexibility in where you put them. Combining that slow setup time with the cost, it isn't something that I'm going to be taking with me when I go out shooting my GoPro camera. It takes too long to set up, and it isn't flexible enough to fit many shooting scenarios. Combining that with the fact that it doesn't interface well with standard GoPro mounts leaves it as a standalone mount that if you buy into the system and you've got a couple of different mounts with these base pieces and you can quickly pop your camera between different mounts and you've got permanent mounting locations set up, it's cool. It's a cool idea. It's a cool concept. For me, currently it takes too long to set up, and it's limited by the fact that you need an Allen key in order to adjust basically anything in an Allen key in order to make it tight enough to not move. You're reliant on this little guy, which isn't great if you're going to be going surfing. For the professionals out there who want to be able to shoot the same repetitive shots again and again and know that their mounts are never going to break, this is for them and they are going to love it. If you have thoughts about this mount, hit me up on Twitter, Kyle Martin Tech over there. But most of all, guys, until next time, thank you very, very much for watching.